Hi, I've created this slide pack for you to give people a bit of a basic understanding about what is digital transformation and how to create a strategy for digital. So digital transformation is really just the leveraging of digital technologies to radically uplift your business capabilities, thereby creating sustainable competitive advantage. When I create digital strategies, they're all unique, but they all tend to have three different components of it. You start with your aspirations, what you're trying to achieve, your motivation, and what your target future state looks like. You also need to understand your starting point from the perspective of, what's the market look like? What direction is that market heading in? What are the customers like? What are your current strengths and weaknesses? Are they sufficient? Is there a gap? And then thirdly, okay, what's the journey look like? Which is really how are you going to bridge the gap between your starting point and your aspiration or state? And that journey needs to, essentially take the form of an action plan, which is, includes the financials, the costings, the tasks, that are required along the journey. It really all tends to start with one key document, which is the customer journey map. So that's simply just a map of all the touch points that your customers have with your organizations and what is the method of interaction at each of those touch points. So I've included here a bit of an example of the format I use. As you go higher up, it's increasing degree of digitization, hence reusability and interoperability. So I use this legend here just to indicate, well, what's in place at the moment, what do I intend to include as a channel which may not exist currently. And you can also use this template to identify all your existing pain points. One of the important things is when you create the roadmap is don't try to jump straight to your end state in one step. It's a bit too much, you won't achieve anything. The important thing is to view it as a series of stepping stones heading in the direction of where you want to be in the future. The first thing always needs to be, well, what are the urgent remediation steps you do? So the quick wins, removal of your pain points. And then secondly, building the foundations upon which all the future programs will work are dependent. And those foundations will include things like your people skills, agile ways of working, and having a good governance framework. Thirdly, when you reduce complexity, it just makes the whole transformational journey a lot easier. And complexity reduction takes into account things like retiring legacy applications, adopting SOE and standards. Now, you may not want to do all these in serial in each of these four phases, but you certainly want those general four themes to guide your prioritisation decisions. Another thing I do before I tend to start is have some guiding principles. And I've included here 7 guiding principles that I tend to use quite often. And I think they should stand you in good stead. So that's a quick overview on digital transformation, how to create a digital transformation strategy. Hope it helps. Feel free to get in contact if you want to know any more details. Thank you.